My name is Roger Hamilton. I'm the CEO of Genius Group. We're one of the sponsors here, and we're a Bitcoin treasury company that is investing in Bitcoin, growing an education company. So very important for us because all of these different events like Consensus are about people educating themselves about the future of crypto, the future of Bitcoin. Well, I think that the most relevant thing you can do in such a situation is education. So we have over 5 million students around the world that are being educated on entrepreneurship, on investing. One of our most popular programs on our investment side is our crypto course, which basically is where people are learning how to get into the market, what to learn about, what to look out for. And we are right now in, I think, one of the most exciting times, given that we have governments embracing it from the US through to Europe and out here in Hong Kong. Very exciting stories, right? Like even this week, the very first Bitcoin treasury company launched in Hong Kong announced that it was actually buying one Bitcoin, which is for under $100,000, and their entire market cap went up by over $100 million. So it just goes to show that there is a huge appetite for people that are interested in this whole space and are looking for the right ways to connect to the players in the market and learn the right way for them to actually be profiting from or learning from the current systems that are being launched. I think one of the most critical things here is realizing that this new digital economy that's coming is like nothing we've ever seen before, right? If you put yourself back in the 1700s when people were in Europe trying to figure out what's the next big thing that's going to happen, and someone had come across the Atlantic and said, hey, I've just come back from Manhattan in America, there's a whole new world that's being built out there. Unless you've actually gone out there and seen what's happening, it's very difficult to conceive of what the future could look like. In fact, even more so, if you're back in the 1700s, just to give you an analogy, at that point, the actual GDP per capita was like about $1,000, right? Today it's over $15,000. America is $75,000. Like when you look at this generation launching right now, Generation Beta is not going to be a billion humans like Generation Alpha. It's going to be 100 billion intelligences, of which like 99 billion of that is going to be AI and robots. They all need to transact. They all use tokens to transact. They're going to be using their own digital currencies to do that as well. So in the same way that if someone come back from America and said, okay, do you want to buy some land in Manhattan? And you hadn't educated yourself about the fact that this was going to be the superpower of the future when it comes to the digital economy and the digital currencies that will drive it are going to be the new metaverse that we're building, and also the Bitcoin that's going to be the digital gold behind all these cryptocurrencies. Easiest way, I think, for someone new to the market to think about it is you think about the fact that if you own a piece of land that has a few trees in Manhattan, but that could have basically an 80-story building in the future, there's going to be a huge amount of value in that limited piece of land, right? Manhattan's got 21 million square meters of land. Bitcoin's got 21 million Bitcoin. That's it, right? So if you actually were to say, in the future, are there going to be these 100-story high-rises on top of this land? No, there's going to be 1,000-story high-rises, and each one of them is going to be a cryptocurrency, and each one's going to have a use case, but they're all going to be underpinned by digital gold, and that's the Bitcoin. That's why the Bitcoin treasury is so important. And one final thing I'll share is the reason that I think there's such a huge inflow towards this is if you take all of the trading of cryptocurrencies in the world today, all the exchanges, of which there's thousands, Binance is the biggest, and then there's a whole series that come after that. They're doing about 100, right now today, about $100 billion per day, which is a pretty huge number. But that's still only about a quarter of what NASDAQ as one stock market does every single day. So if you actually start thinking about all the stock markets in the world and all of that money that's moving to stocks or all the money that's moving into ETFs, you're talking about a 100x multiple of that. And that's now finding its way into the cryptocurrency digital economy, and the Bitcoin treasury companies, of which we're one, are the ones that are educating people into basically this new space. I think one of the most important things that people, as they're looking at all these different areas and saying, well, is a meme coin even close to Bitcoin? Think about the fact that if you were to take the entire world of the current fiat current economy, it goes all the way from basically pension funds that are looking to stabilize their investments for the future in the billions, and Las Vegas, where people are basically like betting their money and they're okay basically having some fun and losing the money as well, right? This whole like spectrum from meme coins all the way through to Bitcoin is exactly the same. It's a mirror of it, but it's at a whole different scale with the digital economy, right? So it's not about is meme coins similar to Bitcoin? It's about every single different way in which someone might use their dollars or their euros today is now being replicated in what we're seeing within the digital economy. Understanding that is very important. I think that what David Sachs, who's now the new crypto czar in the US, said is great, where he explains that he already is looking at the likes of the fact that a meme coin or NFTs are more like collectibles and should be treated like collectibles, right? Like you're going to have, certain securities, like, a public company that should be treated as security. And same is going to go with, let's say, for example, stable coins, right? Digital dollars. But the same is also the case when it comes to property that gets tokenized, or any asset, right, which is a commodity. They should also be under the same kind of regulations that you would have with the property market. So we're going to see in all these areas huge developments coming forward. But I think the fact that these regulations in different areas are very important as well. It's not a question of whether you want to be part of the digital economy or not. It's a question of what part of your current physical economy that you have can you see basically 100xing within the digital economy, go down that pathway, or bet on the teams, which is what Bitcoin treasury companies are, teams that are innovating within their space and within their industry, using the digital economy and using digital money. So great question, and the way I would share that is that right now, when we look at our different academies online, they're all AI based, which means the first thing that happens, you get your AI mentor. If someone goes to geniusgroup.ai today, you will see that on there, you can have a conversation with our chief AI officer, which is Alan Turing AI, and he'll have a real-time conversation with you about basically your own strategies, which is personalized to you. You're not prompting him, he's prompting you, right? The future of phase one of AI is that you're prompting the AI. The future of phase two of AI is the AI is prompting you. And a good teacher, a good mentor, would be asking you questions you hadn't even thought of asking yourself. And as a result of that, guiding you down a pathway which is the right path for you. So we have the Bitcoin Academy that's launching right now, where Seyfedin Amosu is the author of the Bible for Bitcoin, which is basically the Bitcoin standard. He has a course on here. We have some incredible thought leaders from the likes of Anthony Pompliano, who is one of the top podcasters on YouTube and on Twitter, or on X now, in America, who's running his Bitcoin Investor Week next week in New York, or the likes of Natalie Brunell, who runs Coin Stories. They already are teaching people at scale through podcasts. We're taking content from all of these incredible creators and turning them into basically what we call micro courses, which are gamified. Every step of a micro course that you take, you're learning a bite-sized piece, which is AI driven. And then from that piece you're learning, you're getting rewarded with 1,000 gems, which are basically our student credits. We believe that students should not be in student debt, they should be in student credit, they should be earning as they're learning. And those 1,000 gems are equal to 1,000 Satoshis. Today, 1,000 Satoshis is about $1 at 100,000 per Bitcoin for US dollars. Think about that when it becomes 10x or becomes 100x, or when eventually a Satoshi becomes worth €1 or $1. What we're seeing is that this Bitcoin economy, as people get more and more into it, is something which isn't just about you taking your fiat money and putting it into Bitcoin. It's you earning within this economy, and then realizing that the money that you have there is at a whole different scale in terms of its capital growth, especially as fiat currencies continue to devalue. I would say that number one, we are the only public listed Bitcoin treasury company in the world that is an education company, right? So yes, go learn from all the people you want to learn from, but we obviously are in a position and believe we'll continue to be in a position where we're at the forefront. Number two, all of the different places where we are showing up, including right here in Consensus, we are the only Asia-based public listed Bitcoin treasury company that's in education that's here and actually connecting up with all of the top influencers in the world. And we're the only platform in which all those top influencers we're bringing on board to actually be able to teach in bite-sized pieces, gamified education for everyone to learn from as well. So there isn't like just one educator in the whole space. We want as many as possible, but we believe basically that you don't have to choose just one. You choose the ones that work best for you. And I'd recommend anyone who's watching to come and have a look at geniusgroup.ai.